You want freedom or communism? You've got 71 days to decide. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, August the 25th. And of course, we have just finished the Democratic National Convention. So now the two pep rallies are over and all the excitement is in the air for whoever you decide that you want to vote for. And quite frankly, if you vote, I don't care who you vote for. I just like you to vote, and because most Americans don't vote, which is obviously problematic. But I asked the question, do you want freedom or communism? And I think it's a pretty good question, because if we look at both parties, you have to ask yourself a question. Why has it been 9 years that they've been attacking President Trump for trying to do the right thing by Americans, when the borders are Kamala Harris has done nothing? Okay, she's let out criminals. She has let out people that shouldn't be out in the street. She has let the border wide open. And that brings the question, where are the voter ID? We have to use an ID to get on an airplane. We have to use an ID to go to Costco, but there's no voter ID when you walk in to make a vote. So in this case, the Democratic Party can bus in all the illegals to come and vote. I think you have to wonder about these things, because again, our freedom continues to be destroyed by the current party in power. And again, it's not anything more than exactly that. Okay. I mean, if you've seen Kamala Harris's economic plan, she wants to ban price gouging. Well, there is no such thing as price gouging when you have a free market. Okay. Because I can go somewhere else and buy my goods and services. So what, you think they're all colluding? They want a cap on rent increase. Well, shouldn't that also be decided by the free market? See, here's the problem that we have, is that we want to destroy the free market. If you destroy the free market, then you destroy the middle class. It's a pretty simple process. Now, you have to wonder why all the billionaires are loving Kamala, okay? It isn't because of Trump's policies. It's because they want to continue the move towards communism or socialism or fascism or Marxism. Pick your ism. It ain't capitalism. It's not where we are. It's not what they want. Okay. You have to think about it. What is best for the people? And what is best for the people is to take a good look at what you're voting for. Okay. Because again, we're getting to a point in time where it'll be too late to turn this ship back around. We're almost at that point now. Okay. We've got an economy that is struggling. We are in a recession. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. If you're among the middle class, if you're making under $150,000 a year and you've got a family, you're struggling. Okay, again, it's pretty simple math to watch what's going on. Inflation has not come in, and suddenly now, after promising for a year or being assumed for almost a year, last October when the Fed started talking about interest rate cuts, the cut is finally coming in September. Maybe. Okay. Now, again, there is no, if you really believe, okay, that inflation is at the right level, then you're an idiot, because go to the grocery store, go to the gas station. Okay. And remember, all of that money that you pay extra now also pads and helps the federal government. Okay. Because there are taxes on all of those goods and services. It is known as the hidden tax of inflation. Okay, so they want to keep prices higher. They want to create this inflation bubble once again. And certainly by lowering interest rates, that's exactly what you're going to do. But the big problem is you, if you're a middle class, you're not going to be able to benefit from the rate cut, because you can't borrow the money to turn it and put it into the market and do better with it. You're lucky that you can eat dinner. You're lucky you can feed your family. Okay, this is what has happened now, and that brings the question: is the Fed independent? And I would listen. You know, if you've listened to me for any length of time, I think the Fed is nothing more than a cartel. Okay, it was started by four crooks in the first place: the Rothschild family, Paul Warburg, J.P. Morgan, and the Rockefellers. So, what does that tell you? Okay, they want to keep getting richer off of your sweat and your back. Okay, the Fed has done absolutely nothing to help this country in history. Okay, and you can go back to the 1600s when it's not the federal bank, but the central banking system started robbing the citizens of England. Okay, again, the central banking system is so far off a mandate it is ridiculous. They have two jobs to price stability and jobs. But again, it's now the number now to retire comfortably, okay, and feel like you're okay is about $2.5 million. That number keeps going up because, of course, the cost of homes, the cost of rent, the cost of everything keeps going up. And it has nothing to do with the interest rate market. It has everything to do with the manipulation and the stealing of our government and our Federal Reserve and what they're doing. Because, again, why are we still paying for Ukraine? Why are we still giving money to China? I can go down the list and down the list. Okay. But no, let's talk about price controls. Let's talk about rent controls. Let's talk about taking away freedom instead of continuing to give it. Okay. And we know what's going on in the Middle East. Of course, Hamas has now been executing hostages because their bullets have been found in some of the dead hostages. Again, where's the administration? Where's the administration helping here? Again, if you're Jewish, you got to wonder. Okay, where's your help? Okay, I know that President Trump is for the Jews. He's for the minorities. If you look at his record, okay, you can say whatever you want, but I think he's for the people. But again, that's up to you to decide. But again, I think the Fed does not welcome. I mean, they don't want to get away from the ability to print money. The fiat currency system is the most manipulated, most corrupt industry that there is. Okay. Again, there's nothing backing any of the currencies that are part of the fiat currency system. The one that has a little backing is the Swiss franc, but there's nothing behind it. So it's all air. And of course, you continue to spend more of it because they continue to allow inflation to rise, which is just another way to collect taxes. And if you want to keep paying more taxes, then keep supporting the current administration and what they're doing. Because between the flood of illegals that have come in this country, and you're paying for those because there are programs that are supporting the illegal immigration. Okay. And if you don't think that the illegal immigrants aren't probably paying off the politicians, there's something going on here. Okay. But you're letting in child traffickers, drug dealers, smugglers. Okay. That's the kind of people that cross the border along with those who want to be here. But why isn't it that they have to go through it legally? Okay. I mean, I think that, you look at Robert Kennedy Jr. dropped out of the race and endorsed President Trump. Okay. Now, again, listen, I'm not saying that he's right or he's wrong. I'm just saying that, he does realize, and he is a lifelong Democrat that realizes that the Democratic Party today is not the party that we grew up with. Okay. If you're of my age and in your 60s or 70s, this is not the Democratic Party we grew up in. This is not the political system we grew up in. Yes, they've always been a little bit shady and a little bit of criminals. But if we go back and look, okay, at the past few presidents, okay, Obama sent back civil rights 100 years. Okay, Bush did cause the collapse of the financial system, and he also signed the Patriot Act with the FISA warrants, one of the worst things in history. Okay, that took away part of your freedom. Okay. Clinton was fine, except that he lied, and I don't care that he lied. I just wish he said I did it, and I don't care. Okay, I mean, really, the last good president, in my opinion, was Trump and Reagan. Okay, again, I don't like anything that has happened in this country, and again, I think if you look at it honestly and objectively, you cannot be happy about what's going on. Even if your 401k is growing, how can you be happy? Because your cost is going up faster than your 401k. The PCE proves it every month that you're spending more than you're taking in. Okay, we saw that the U.S. added 818,000 less jobs than was forecasted or told. Now again, I said that all along. I've said that every week on this call that the jobs number was bullshit, and of course it is bullshit because you can see that they finally had to fess up because once a year they got to come up with the real number. Okay, and the real number is 818,000 below. And as I told you the last couple of weeks, since 2021, 66% of the jobs created went to illegals, 33% went to Americans, and half of the 33% went to government jobs. Do you want to keep paying for government jobs? Okay, you want to keep getting fleeced by the government? It's about time that Americans took a stand. And again, I go back to, why are all the billionaires so much against President Trump? That's to me, something doesn't make sense here. The logic behind their actions don't make sense. Okay, because again, never in my life do I remember somebody being attacked for 9 years as we are seeing now. Okay, but again, you just take a look at Kamala's economic policies. Okay, you want price controls? You want to take away the free market? Guess what? You just kissed away your freedom. So you might as well do what they do on the airplane when the plane's going down. Put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Because if you let this happen, and I'm not saying that the election, that's one thing, but if you let these policies go through and you let these policies stand, we've already lost a lot of our freedom of speech. We've already got a one-sided media. You want to give up the rest of your freedom? God bless. But remember what they do on the airplane. Put your head between your legs and kiss freedom goodbye. And this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August 25th. We're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be back with our market report right after the break. Well, kids, what's going on? And of course, you know that I've got some sponsors for the show, and they are brokerage partners. Now, I do have other brokers. So again, it's not that I'm trying to convince you to go to one broker or another. I do believe that the brokers that I bring to you are in your best interest. But again, that's up to you. I'm just encouraging you to check them out because you'll save money, you'll get better service. And again, I always leave it up to you. But in the meantime, it is TRADIER Brokerage, which again, $10 a month flat saves me over $100,000 a year. They automate with us. We can do a lot of automation through them that doesn't cost you anything, with the exception of our hedging program, which is a licensing fee, but it's your choice. You don't have to use it. And of course, you're scrolling on the sides. And of course, Capital Trading Group, which is our partner in a lot of programs and does all of our letter of direction trading. And we're going to be doing some automation with them as well pretty soon, which will help cut your costs and do some other things. But in the meantime, check them out. See the website on the side and check it out. And of course, our high school program, which again, if you look at the financial literacy in this country today, it's funny because I give it away for free. And I got, after COVID, we got destroyed out of it. And of course, I spent out of my own money over $100,000 a year to put it into these high schools. But the teachers don't want to teach it, which should say something else about the system that we're in. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, and of course, our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 25th, 71 days in front of the election. And of course, markets continue to kind of rise higher. We've had a little sell-off here and there. But overall, the markets look like they're pressing new highs again. Look, I don't know that it means anything. I mean, again, I think you yourself have to look in the mirror and say, is the stock market really helping me? Okay. Is my 401k growing faster than inflation? I mean, again, I'm not telling you the markets are going down. I'm not telling you going up. You all know what I believe. And I believe that there's a 50 to 70% haircut coming. I've said it for over a year, maybe a year and a half, whatever. And I still say it's coming. But again, I can't tell you when. And quite frankly, you know my positions. I disclose them every day, and we are still long the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the Dow. So again, you can fault my opinion, what I think is going to happen in the future. But in the meantime, I'm benefiting from the long side of the market because, as I tell you, and you know that we hedge our portfolio and we're always long equities no matter what. So again, you can fault, you can do whatever you want. I always disclose to you. Now again, do I believe the market is fairly valued here? No, I think it's a bubble, but it doesn't matter. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think the banks are in trouble. I know that 600 regional banks have claimed problems. Okay. One of my good friends is watching. He's a banker. He'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. But at the end of the day, I think the banks are over leveraged. And I wouldn't be surprised to have another September surprise where, in 2008, Paulson went out on Face the Nation and said the banks were safe and sound. Well, we found out that wasn't true. And I think that might be the case as well now. But again, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to sway anything. I'm going to disclose what I do. And of course, we are long the four major indexes. Okay. And as we look across the board, the US dollar, which we no longer trade in, it has nothing to do with whether we like the dollar or not. It just is too expensive. We have to go trade it through New York and get ripped off. So why trade it? Bottom line is we would be short dollars if we were trading them. We will be long euro currency. Okay. And again, remember, these are only the core position because tomorrow morning, before the markets open, I'll look at the chart and it'll decide whether we're flat or in that direction. I'm giving you the general direction right now. Bonds and notes are both short. Okay. Bitcoin is long. Gold and silver. Silver's going to reverse over long. It was short. Oh, actually, it was flat last week, but it was supposed to be short. Gold, silver, and platinum, but we don't trade platinum, but they would all be long. Copper will be long. The grain markets will be short across the board, although I think that there's something going on here. And again, if I were going to take a shot, I am short, but if I were going to take a shot, I would buy. We're seeing the biggest short position in the grain markets since 2019. Okay, that's over 700,000 contracts. I would think there'd be a squeeze coming by here soon, but we'll see. In the meantime, in the meats, we don't trade the meats anymore, but I am personally short cattle and I am personally long hogs. Okay, and of course, crude oil, we are short. Natural gas, we are short. In the sauce, which we no longer trade for sure, we're short cocoa, cotton, sugar, long coffee, and short OJ. Okay. Now, again, we're not in those positions. To be clear, I'm just giving you what the signals would be. Okay. Again, I want you to be careful. Okay. I think this is going to be a very slow week. I wouldn't get too excited about anything. It's a lot of news, but not a lot of volume. And of course, you saw Friday's what Friday's Federal Reserve thing did. Markets get wacky when there's no volume and there's no trading in between. So be careful. But again, the trend is still up. There's nothing to dispute. There's nothing to change here. In the meantime, we'll take a look and we're going to step out here for a break and come back with our commentary. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, August the 25th. But kids, again, I'm not going to go through the whole speech. I just going to tell you, TRADIER Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, the best you'll ever find. I do have other brokers. Check them out on the sides. And of course, our high school program across the bottom. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and of course, my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 25th, 71 days before the election. Well, again, election worries here. Here's one of my problems here. And this is what I'm unhappy with in the current administration and many of the government things. Because again, first of all, if you understand the Constitution, government is supposed to be run, city, county, state, and the federal government is supposed to oversee, which doesn't happen anymore. But bottom line is, if you don't know, I do like to gamble. I live in Las Vegas. Okay. And now they're starting to try to tax. Okay. The states want to tax the online bookmakers, whatever you want to call them. They want to charge them more tax money now. Okay. It's not that they already don't take 51% of their money. Okay. The bookmaking business is a 5% handle. That's a hold. A 5% hold on the dollars that they handle. It is not a business that can soar in profit. Okay. That it's always going to come back to what that range is. But the pigs of the government continue to want to charge more taxes. And now these bookmaking firms are discussing passing on the tax to the consumer. Well, we know that people aren't going to stop the gambling. They're going to stop their fantasy football, which we get ready for football season in 2 weeks. They're not going to stop. The professionals will find the right place and the professionals will go back offshore. So here is the problem that the government is creating. Okay. And it's the same problem that they created when they did not legalize marijuana federally. Okay. People will go offshore. There's plenty of bookmakers in the Dominican Republic and all over the place that are happy to take your business. There are plenty of illegal bookmakers running around the street, okay, that'll be happy to take your business. Okay. So government, why would you want to give up that tax dollars that you're getting? Because you're getting money that you would never get if they go back into the streets. They go back to the illegal bookmaker. You don't get that money. So why are you such pigs? Okay. This is the problem with this entire administration right now. They want too much control. They want too much money when we're spending gobs and gobs of money and we're paying for it. The taxpayer pays it. Government makes zero. They make debt. Quit supporting the shit that they want to do because they're taking the money directly from your pocket with every program that they do. That's my thought for today. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much as always. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great day, everybody.